Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you even a little bit know where we are, what we're doing, and how we got here?
I know that we just got done doing our weekly wrap-ups, and the last regular chapter we did was Isaiah chapter 43. But I honestly don't recall exactly what the last regular chapter entailed entirely.
Yeah, he's given the future and shit.
Who, Isaiah?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just like, yo.
And God was telling the future to Isaiah and...
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing is kind of annoying because it's all stuff we've read before.
Right.
And it's all like, did he or didn't he come along and say this himself and tell the future, or are we doing a Deutero Isaiah where 200 years later somebody wrote some shit,
right,
and attributed it to him?
So what I'm gathering is that we're in Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
We read some Isaiah, and today we're going to read some more Isaiah.
Correct.
Which today would be what?
Isaiah chapter 44.
All right, you ready to get into some Isaiah?
Sure as fuck am.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, so we are here jumping into Isaiah chapter 44.
All right.
Okay, but now, Jacob, listen.
Yeah.
My servant
listen.
Israel, whom I have chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, listen.
Listen up. This is what the Lord says.
Is it?
It is. Ready?
I'm ready.
He who made you, who formed you in the womb, and who will help you. Do not be afraid, Jacob, my servant Jeshurun, whom I have chosen.
Well, he'll only help you if you fear him and worship him and don't beat rocks and don't light the wrong incense.
Yeah.
And don't have leprosy and don't masturbate on the wrong day and don't have a child. Don't eat shellfish and don't wear mixed threads.
Don't menstruate.
Yeah. But other than that, you're good,
yeah.
maybe. So
yeah.
I don't know. I probably didn't list all the rules, but you know.
You didn't.
There's still more.
There's more. There's
but anyway,
more.
Sure, he's going to help you.
Yeah, so I don't know if you noticed, but he just referred to Jacob as Jeshurun.
Yeah.
That's a name.
Okay.
And it means upright.
Wow.
And
okay.
It's just another word for Jacob and chosen and Israel. And
I think it's funny that the name for Israel / Jacob is Jeshurun, which is upright, when he often doesn't like them. Which would indicate to me that they aren't currently at that point in time upright.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
it doesn't always apply, maybe.
It doesn't. So that is interesting. So he continues, "For I will pour water on the thirsty land and streams on the dry ground. I will pour out my spirit on your offspring." Ew. And my blessing on your descendants.
I don't know if that's right, man. You should probably
that's grody.
Contact HR before doing that.
Yeah, don't pour out your spirit on people. That's grody. They will spring up like grass, your descendants.
Yeah.
Will spring up like grass in a meadow, like poplar trees by flowing streams.
Okay.
I don't want that many children, but thank you.
Right, but I think he's talking as like the group of Israelites,
yeah.
Not just like one person.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of work for one person.
It would, but I mean, he's saying that all of you collectively are going to have lots of children and procreate and keep growing.
Yeah.
And it's like, meh, 1 or 2 kids is enough, thanks.
That's still growing.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just like I get the idea that they had like lots of kids. Like I know Abraham, you know, had lots of sons.
Right.
You know,
right.
lots of them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Some will say, I belong to the Lord. Others will call themselves by the name of Jacob. Still others will write on their hand, the Lord's, and will take the name Israel.
Okay.
It's a thing that they used to do, particularly the scribes. They would write the name of their master on their hand, like almost as a tattoo branding kind of thing, to show who they belong to.
Got it.
So that's a thing. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And so if somebody wrote Jacob's or Joshua's or Israel's, that meant I'm a child of God. You know, I've accepted. I'm a Christian that's pre-Christian.
I was going to say you're not a Christian.
No, I'm a Jewish person that really, really loves the Christian part of Judaism.
There is no Christian part of Judaism.
I understand that. I'm just saying, like, this book is so, like, part of the New Testament in my mind, the way it's written and the way it's like, love the Lord is Lord, Lordy, Lord, Lord.
Yeah. But you're gonna have to be very careful about. You can't say that Jewish people are Christians. That there's a huge difference.
I know. I'm just saying, like, the Christians have adopted this as their fifth gospel,
right?
So it feels that way. Like, I can see why they did, and so it feels very. I don't know. It's just okay. Like, you know, when Christians go to church on Easter or whatever, or Good Friday or whatever, and they put the cross ashes on their forehead. Have you seen that?
Isn't that for Ash Wednesday?
Okay, maybe that is what it is, but it's around Easter time.
Right. Yeah.
So it just, that whole thing, like, you know, marking yourself, it all feels part of the same thing.
Got it.
I don't know. I'm probably being crazy, but in my mind, it all has the same, it all falls into the same bucket.
I mean, it's all an Abrahamic religion.
Yeah.
But again, very different.
Okay, so. It's just that, like, when we were in, like, the first 5 books, and even through Kings, you know, it felt like very Jewish. Like, I could very, very easily differentiate. We are still in Judaism. Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's very old.
Sure, but you're definitely talking about different time frames when these things were written, and we are getting into some newer things, but that doesn't indicate Christianity at all.
No, I understand that. It's not saying Christianity, but it has the feel of, oh, we're on the cusp, though. It's coming.
And that's probably because people write closer to what they're going to be writing, like in the New Testament. So like the writing styles are closer to.
And also probably some New Testament fools came back and wrote some of this stuff in.
Could very well be.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it has the feel very different from the older stuff that we were reading that I could very easily differentiate. You know, this was Jewish, this is Christian. And now I feel more like this is leaning more Christian than Jewish. Just in feeling.
I think we're just talking writing styles here.
Okay.
I think writing styles is where you're getting hung up, but I don't think there is any Christianity in this whatsoever.
I understand that there's literally not. I'm not saying that there's literally Christianity in this. Yes, very much writing style.
I'm trying to unsink your ship here.
I understand.
So,
what you're saying.
you done sunk your ship.
Okay.
And now we're trying to unsink it.
Okay.
So,
are you saying that I'm talking out of my ass and I sound stupid?
I'm saying that you cannot call Judaism. You can't compare it to Christianity. It is not Christianity at all. There is an entirely separate religion that is Judaism.
Right, and I get that. But what I'm saying is that this part of Judaism, as we get closer to the New Testament, feels...
I'm telling you to say distinguish the writing styles feel similar to what we think we're going to be getting into in the New Testament.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
You should stop saying Christian.
Okay, it's just... Okay.
Writing styles. We're going to stick with writing styles.
I know what I mean.
You know what you mean.
I know what I mean.
All right.
Anyway, this is what the Lord says. Israel's King and Redeemer, the Lord Almighty. See, the King and Redeemer, come on. That is so not something written. Like, they would not have written that in the older books that we were reading. I am the first and I am the last. Oh, also, I did read in my notes, I am the first and I am the last is the first time that they are specifically saying monotheism, period, the end.
Oh, okay.
So,
but they're still talking about idols in Isaiah too. So
right, but okay.
No, I'm just saying. But yeah, sure. I get what you're saying.
Yes.
They're saying I'm the only God, but that's not entirely true.
Well, it's the first time that he's like, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. Like, that's the first time that that's a thing. Like, okay. Where he's not saying that there are other gods that exist, but I'm the best. Now he's saying, I was here before anybody else, and I will be here long after anybody else. Nobody created me. I was around before there was anything.
Okay. I feel like he's kind of alluded to that before.
Well, according to my notes that I read, this is the first time that he specifically stated it.
Okay.
So, this is...
I'm sorry I'm questioning you so much, but I'm just feeling... I'm not feeling the facts here. So I'm like, I gotta question this a little bit more.
Okay, and I hear what you're saying. I was like, oh, really? I thought we had hit that before. But according to the notes that I have read, this is the first time he specifically said, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. I was here before and I will be here long after. Nobody created me. I am the creator.
Got it.
Boom.
But he literally refers to himself as I am.
Right.
Before this.
Right. I am, though, is just saying, I'm everything. I'm everything is not the same thing as, and I was here first and nobody created me.
Okay.
That's not the same thing.
But he has said that he created the heavens and the earth and the things.
But this is the first time that he said, on top of I created everything first, he's saying nobody created me. I was here before everything else.
Got it.
Not just I made everything else. I was here before all of that.
Okay.
And nobody made me.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
That's what I'm getting at.
I see.
Okay, so anyway, apart from me, there is no God. See?
Yeah.
Boom.
Right.
Who then is like me? Let him proclaim it. Let him declare and lay out before me what has happened since I established my ancient people and what is yet to come. Yes, let them foretell what will come. Do not tremble, do not be afraid. Did I not proclaim this and foretell it long ago? You are my witnesses. Is there any God besides me? No, there is no other rock. I know not one. Okay. So he's not just saying, you should love me and I'm the best and I'm awesome. He's like taking this a step further. It just feels gross. I hate it. Anyway, all who make idols are nothing, and the things they treasure are worthless. Those who would speak up for them are blind. They are ignorant to their own shame. Who shapes a god and casts an idol? Who can profit nothing? People who do that will be put to shame. Such craftsmen are only human beings. But they're craftsmen, though.
Right. And the people that craft I don't know. Well, I wonder, in Judaism they have the star, like people wear like the David star, right?
The Star of David?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like there is some symbolism that they wear and craft around about their God for that religion even.
Yeah.
So there's not really, I don't feel like there's any religion that doesn't have some sort of symbolism involved with it.
Some kind of crafty object that they put on their desk or their table.
And I would wager that the people that they're talking about with these idols, they don't see them as just a stone statue. It's the belief behind what that idol represents. It's not, there's more to it than just a stone statue.
Right.
Which is the same thing for God, so it's
he's
kind of
just like, no, only mine count.
Right. I think he's just mad because back then no one was making stone idols of him.
He is a jealous God.
Right, yeah.
Let them all come together and take their stand. They will be brought down to terror and shame. Okay, here we're about to get into this whole thing where he's going to give us minute details of how idols are made.
Oh, okay.
To show that it's just humans doing it, not God.
Got it. Taking notes.
Yeah. Ready? The blacksmith takes a tool and works with it in the coals. He shapes an idol with hammers. He forges it with the might of his arm. I wish we had a camera right now because you are like literally going through the motions.
I am.
And it's
because it helps me stay on track with the story.
Yeah.
So like if I'm doing the actions that God's talking about, it helps like
it
that's
helps
where
you pay attention.
It helps me pay attention, and then I can like be like, wait a second, that didn't work. I was doing it with the thing that didn't work.
Yeah.
So I can be, you know what I mean?
How's your forging going?
Forging's going well so far.
Okay.
The strong arm and the hammer.
The might of the arm. Yeah. He gets hungry and loses his strength. Womp womp.
Damn.
He drinks no water and grows faint. Oh.
That's why doesn't he drink water?
He should just stop and take a break.
Right? Yeah.
Like no all work and no play, you know, makes husband
idol
a
maker
dull
guy.
boy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The carpenter measures with a line and makes an outline with a marker. He roughs it out with chisels and marks it with compasses. Use your compass.
I did. It was just a little slight movement I did.
Oh, okay.
I did it.
He shapes it in human form in all its glory, that it may dwell in a shrine.
Okay.
He cuts down cedars, or perhaps took a cypress or oak. He let it grow among the trees of the forest, or planted a pine, and the rain made it grow. It is used as fuel for burning. Some of it he takes and warms himself. He kindles a fire and bakes bread. But he also fashions a god and worships it. He makes an idol and bows down to it. Or sells it.
Yeah. I mean
that's what they usually seem to do.
It's a representative of a god still.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I think that they're like being silly. I think that they're saying, you think that that's a god. And I think that the argument would be like, but no, they don't though. They think that it's a symbol of the god.
Right, yeah.
They don't think that the idol is going to get up and walk around, you big dum-dum.
Right. I mean, it's the same idea as when like the Christians kiss their cross or whatever, right? Like, it's just something to physically manifest that belief
to focus your spiritual attention.
Right.
Yeah. It's not, you're not saying that the cross is God.
But that's the way they treat it. Like the way they treat idols in the Bible is that they treat them as though the idol itself is the God.
But they only say that other people are doing that.
Right.
They're like, you think your idol is a god. And the people, if we were to read theirs, their argument would probably be like, no, we don't. Not any more than you do. Yeah.
We're reading God's books. So God, of course, is going to refer to them in a derogatory sense.
Yeah.
So
God is like, our idols are awesome. Yours are stupid, and you think they're real.
Well, no, remember, we don't have any idols. Not yet, anyway.
Right, but we do, though, because they have temples. And
they had like the golden calves, which were apparently part of another sect of Judaism.
Yeah,
so
yeah. But they also have their altars, and, you know, they do have idols. They're just not the same format. They're not the same item.
Right.
But they are.
You're saying they have physical manifestations of worshiping, like that exist to worship God.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Which is all an idol is.
Right.
Yeah. Half of the wood he burns in the fire. Over it he prepares his meal. He roasts his meat and eats his fill. You roast your meat over a fire. He also warms himself and says, I am warm. I see the fire. I have to tell you something. You don't be warm just from seeing a fire.
No, you have to be close to it.
You have to actually have the fire be in your presence warming you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're outside in the snow and you look in the window and you see the fire,
you're not going to get warm.
You don't get warm just from seeing a fire. Yeah, so that's silly.
Mm-hmm.
From the rest he makes a god, his idol. That's not how it works. He bows down to it and worships. He prays to it and says, save me, you are my God. I don't believe that that's what they thought, though.
I don't either.
I think that this is oversimplifying and silly.
Oh, it is. Well, I mean, this is propaganda, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is, so if you're an outsider looking in and you see somebody in another religion bowing down before a stone idol or a wooden idol or whatever, your simple take could be to say, that person is worshiping that stone god right there. What's going on? That's weird.
Instead of what that stone represents.
Right.
Much as the way I worship my incense when I burn it and smell it. Right? Because that's what they do, right? They got to have oil and incense and shit. And
right.
do all their things, like somehow your actions are okay, but other people's aren't.
Right.
So stupid.
Yeah.
They know nothing. They understand nothing. Their eyes are plastered over so they cannot see, and their minds are closed so they cannot understand.
Mm.
See, he's basically saying they're fucking stupid. They're dumb moron poop faces.
Right.
And I'm like, you are too. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one stops to think. No one has the knowledge of or understanding to say, half of it I used for fuel. I even baked bread over its coals. I roasted meat and I ate. Shall I make a detestable thing from what is left? Shall I bow down to a block of wood? But I bet if he carved the other half into a cross, that'd be just fine if we were in that time period. You know what I mean? Like,
from a Christian standpoint, yes.
Or, okay, I bet if we made a teeny tiny, like, altar that we were taking to sacrifice or whatever,
right.
Like, that would be fine, but it's not. So we made something else, and that's silly.
Again, just propaganda.
I know, I just hate it. Such a person feeds on ashes. A deluded heart misleads him. He cannot save himself or say, is not this thing in my right hand a lie?
As much as this book we're reading is one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, whatever.
Remember these things, Jacob, for you, Israel, are my servant. I have made you, you are my servant. Israel, I will not forget you. I have swept away your offenses like a cloud, your sins like the morning mist. Return to me, for I have redeemed you. Okay, that's the end of the quote.
Okay.
Sing for joy, you heavens, for the Lord has done this. Shout aloud, you earth beneath. Burst into song, you mountains, you forests, and all your trees. For the Lord has redeemed Jacob. He displays his glory in Israel. Woohoo! Partay!
Yay!
This is what the Lord says.
Is it?
Your Redeemer, who formed you in the womb. I am the Lord, the maker of all things, who stretches out the heavens, who spreads out the earth by myself, who foils the signs of false prophets and makes fools of diviners, except for when I like them, who overthrows the learning of the wise and turns it into nonsense, who carries out the words of his servants and fulfills the predictions of his messengers, who says of Jerusalem, it shall be inhabited. Of the towns of Judah, they shall be rebuilt. And of their ruins, I'll restore them. Who says to the watery deep, be dry, and I will dry up your streams, as you do. Mm-hmm. Who says...
Do you remember when what was it, Jericho fell and it was never going to be rebuilt?
Ever.
But then it was.
Even in the Bible.
But then it was.
It was.
In the Bible.
In the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who says of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and he will accomplish all that I please. He will say of Jerusalem, let it be rebuilt, and of the temple, let its foundations be laid.
God is, okay. I find this really weird, odd, dumb, that God is taking Cyrus and implementing a non-God believer, non-him believer, to use as his tool to redeem Israel and Jacob. That seems dumb.
I have some notes on that.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, this is proof two ways. If you are a believer, then you're like, holy shitballs, this was written 200 years before Cyrus ever came around. Oh my fucking God. This is prophecy fulfilled because we know that Cyrus did indeed come along and do some shit.
I see.
Oh, wowsy. Wowsy. And not only did Cyrus come along, but Cyrus wasn't even of God. Oh my, what, how, wow.
I see. We're supposed to be blown away here. I got it.
Yeah. Now, that's the believey side.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The academic scholar, I studied this shit side says, okay, so anyways, you could tell from the, as you said, writing style that this shit was written 200 years later and then, tucked in like a bookmark.
Right.
Of, wow, let's pretend that God totally spelled out that Cyrus would come and do this shit.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Because guess what? we're today and Cyrus did this shit. Yeah. So.
And if we can make it look otherwise, like it was written years ago, then this looks really good.
The problem is that they didn't know that people would, keep getting smarter and smarter.
Yeah.
And be able to tell your writing style didn't match up. Fail.
Right.
You get an F on this writing project.
Yeah.
I can totally tell that you Googled it. You did a bad job, Bard.
Right.
Okay. So also the fact that Cyrus was not a Jew. There are other people who write and who say Cyrus read this book that had his name in it, and he was so touched by the Lord that as a non-believer, as a non-Jew, he was like, but I still have to fulfill God's word.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because my name is in this book and I'm not even a fucking Jew. So what?
No, that never happened.
That never happened.
That never happened.
Ever. No, because he was renowned for being a person who let all the people that he conquered.
Yeah, and moreover, not just if you read about yourself, if you really thought that you read a prophecy that was written about you 200 years prior in a book about a god, you would immediately switch to that religion, would you not?
Yes, but here's the thing.
If you believed it.
I am persnickety. And if I read a prophecy that said I was going to do a thing, I would 100%, psychology would work on me. Because I would 100% do the opposite. Just to say, no, you did not predict me.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
So they could totally get me by being like, haha, just kidding. We wanted her to do the opposite. So, because I'm telling you right now, if I read a book, a tome from history that was like, and wife said and did a thing, I would be like, watch me.
Right.
Hold my beer while I don't do that thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm, like I said, I'm persnickety. That's just what I would do.
Sure.
So, anyway, that's my notes about Cyrus.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's the end of this chapter.
Oh, that was the end of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, so yeah, some more non-predicty stuff.
Mm-hmm. But he named Cyrus by name.
Yeah. The people that were there with Cyrus named Cyrus by name, and they stuck it back in the goddamn book.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was Isaiah chapter 44.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that tomorrow we'll be back with
Isaiah chapter 45.
Oh, and real quick, I should say this. Mm-hmm. We're getting this out late, obviously, today. Mm-hmm. And we didn't do one on Christmas Day, which we thought we were going to do. But we're kind of figuring out what we're planning on doing tonight, because we've got a lot of episodes to figure out, or maybe skip one. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. But I just wanted to kind of give a heads up to everybody. It's just, it is what it is when we get to what it is.
Yeah, so. Because Christmas happened, and even though we are not either Jewish or Christian,
right?
So
we still have family obligations.
Yeah. And we did the whole presents and dinners and
it was busy.
But it was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
And I hope that everybody had a good celebration of whatever the fuck they did. Happy federal holiday unto you.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we will get out of here for today, and we'll be back tomorrow with Isaiah chapter 45.
Sure as fuck will.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.